the Thunder as the road team for today's Western Conference matchup. Sit back and enjoy this presentation of NBA basketball on 2K Sports. Along with our broadcast team of Chris Webber, Greg Anthony, and David Aldrich, Kevin Harlan, I hope you'll join us in welcoming our very special guest to the broadcast tonight. The terrific, the legendary Kobe Bryant has put on a headset and placed himself at our broadcast. And David Aldrich is standing by for our pregame report. David, good evening.
Well, guys, Paul George has made a reputation as a dynamic two-way player. He said you can dominate a game in so many ways. That's always been my mindset. I just go out there and ball. Kevin, back to you.
Well, you love that versatility, DA. Thank you. And Kobe, you've made no apologies throughout your career about being a scorer, but how do you strike that balance between getting buckets and keeping your teammates involved?
Well, it's a thin line, especially for scorers. You know, because when you're locked into that mentality, it's very easy. It's almost like a racehorse. When you're racing with blinders on, you don't see anything else. You have one focus, right? And so it becomes a matter of trying to understand when to attack throughout the course of the game. For the first 3 quarters, maybe I'll lay back. Or maybe even it's just the first quarter, then close out the first half strong. So you go into halftime with some momentum. But then at the end of the game, you know, that's when you put the blinders back on and you really race for that finish line. And so everything in between just becomes a matter of setting up the pieces so that then you can close the game out the right way. So that's how I thought about it.
And I can sense by the way you describe this that you had to know your teammates' game as well as your own game.
Well, yeah, you got to know how they're feeling going into the game.
Yeah.
Right? Does Pau Gasol have it tonight? You know, how's LO feeling tonight? Right? You got to be able to measure those things. And you know, if you feel like the team's going to get off to somewhat of a sluggish start, that's when you kick it into high gear immediately, right? And so it's a bit of a guessing game, but it's more so being able to spend the time with your teammates and talk to them, and that'll help you gauge a little bit better.
So here's Oklahoma City's starting group. Inside pairing is Grant and Adams. Westbrook and Ferguson, their backcourt, and it's George in at the 3 slot. Hart, that's good. And Kobe, you look at the different styles and different approaches the teams employ. How much input did you have to say, hey, this is what I'm seeing, this is how I think we should play?
Yeah, well, that was the beauty about Phil's system, the triangle, is that the players had to take the responsibility of making it what it was. Right, he gave us a format to play out of, and he gave us the structure. And within that structure, you have a myriad of options.
Right.
And it's our responsibility, it was Michael's and Scotty's responsibility, to figure out how to put Luke Longley, how to put Derek Fisher in the right spot on the floor to take advantage of the defense that you're facing.
Sounds complicated.
No, but you know, when you look at it, like the triangle, it spells things out very simplistically because you have rules.
Right.
When you have rules, then it's very easy to say, okay, when this happens, this happens. When that happens, this happens, right? So it makes the game very, very easy to measure. And so things don't happen on accident, right? They happen with intent.
Good on the second free throw.
Yeah, and for being the 27th pick in the 2017 draft, Kuzma has made his mark early, already surpassed expectations.
And Kobe, one aspect that always stood out about your career and dedication was your work ethic. What motivated you to continue to work hard, even into your last year in the NBA, when your body sometimes would say, no more work, right? No more work.
Yeah, I love the process. You know, I love the process more than the actual game, you know, because it's a puzzle. You have to figure out how things are going to work. Okay, my ankles won't loosen up. How do I get them to loosen up, right? Contrast therapy, stretch, modalities, strength training, right? So it's a constant
That would
puzzle.
take hours and hours and hours.
Yeah. Very tedious things, but it's like a quest. You're trying to figure out what's going to work, right? It's the little challenges along the way that always kept me interested.
First quarter of ball, almost 2.5 minutes in. Hart kicks to Kuzma. George against Ingram. That shot, no good. Some solid defense from Grant. Here's Westbrook. And they call the foul, so he's got the and one chance here to make it a 3-point play.
Sounds good. He's finding some good shots early on. And what you like about it, he's not trying to do too much.
And Kobe, you think about playing the game. You don't miss the physical side of it, but I know the mental side was so big for you, especially as your career went on.
Well, yeah. Well, every season was a new puzzle, right? So it's, as a leader of the team, it's not so much about yourself. You have to put that to the side and think about how to put together the puzzle for your teammates. How do you put them in the situation where they're reaching their max potential?
Yes.
Right? That's what gets the championship done. So every season is exciting because the puzzle is new, right? The emotions, the goals that your teammates have are all new. And so you have to figure out how can you put them in the best possible position to be successful and in turn help us win a championship.
It's a great explanation.
Yeah, good awareness there. He sees an opening and doesn't hesitate.
Well, that opening right there, that's just because the defense failed to rotate.
And Noel kicks to Abrinas. Grant outside. Shoots over Kuzma. And Oklahoma City again with the bucket.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure.
And the call will be against Alex Abrinas. That's his first foul. And Los Angeles with some changes. JaVale McGee's checked in for Chandler. Ivica Zubac has checked in for Kyle Kuzma. And Lance Stevenson subbed in for Brandon Ingram. Just over 3.5 minutes gone here in the first. Here's Zubac, and he goes in for the dunk.
And a sturdy screen set for him that time, and he doesn't fool around, just straight to the rim for the finish.
No way for his man to get around that one, that's for sure.
And that's a play they'll run over and over, fellas, as long as it keeps working.
Lakers trail by 6. Over in the corner, Caldwell Pope. From outside, off the mark. Grant surveying the D, and here's Westbrook from the arc. That miss is his 4th this game. He's shooting 3 for 7 from the field. In the NBA, because the players are so individually great, and we all know about them, and the league pushes them in that direction. You got the torch from Michael. You then gave it to LeBron. For that, it was Dr. J, and how I find that amazing how the torch is passed from one great player to another, yet each are so individual in their accomplishments. Did you like receiving it, and did you like passing it on?
Yeah, I love both. The receiving and then passing it on, because it's the infinite cycle. It's an infinite loop, and the game just continues to evolve, and players continue to grow. And so I was happy to be a part of that chain after watching it for so many years growing up, from Magic and Larry, and then to Michael, and then myself and LeBron, and now whoever comes next. It's an infinite loop, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Shot clock at 3. Here's Stevenson. And it's Noel with the rebound.
That's one he knows he should have drained.
Here's Abrinas. Westbrook finds Grant. Some nice passing by Oklahoma City here. And that one's good. Noel.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Stevenson against George. Stevenson outside. The Lakers need to get a shot off here from past the arc. Russell Westbrook has been leading the charge for Oklahoma City. He finishes with 9 points in the quarter. The D is having all sorts of problems with him. And we'll be right back after this. The leadership of Russell Westbrook is so important to the team, and Steven Adams talked about what it means to him.
He's doing just an unbelievable job at just controlling the guys, controlling the game, making sure that everyone's feeling in the right mood to play and willing to sacrifice for one another.
So much of leadership is that emotional component, motivating guys to give their all.
And Russ certainly leads by example with his competitive zeal, but he understands also he's got to bring his teammates with him.
And hope you've enjoyed the broadcast so far, halfway through the first half in this one. And let's quickly break down the game we've seen so far from the Thunder, guys.
Through that first one, they've turned this thing into a track meet.
I'll tell you what, when you allow them to speed up the tempo, there's a good chance you're going to fall behind.
Lance Stevenson is out there with Hart. And there's JaVale McGee. Then it's Ivica Zubac. And it's Beasley in at the small forward. That's who's in the game for the Lakers. Los Angeles making a switch here. Ingram's checked in. Russell Westbrook in for Oklahoma City. Here's Ingram. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot two. And Kobe, while you're in the